that's why Jacky Newcomb is here with us today. Jacky has published a gorgeous book, actually. It's an angel treasury, explaining everything there is, the hierarchy, the different types of angels you can call on, how to communicate
everything
with your angel.
I could come up with and more.
Everything you can think of and more. Because angels, celestial beings, I always love that bit in the church when they say, and the celestial choir of angels. You think, gosh, how wonderful. I would really want to feel that angels and a big choir of them were up in the sky and warming us with their blessings and their kindness. So, let's say that you do believe in angels, and even if you don't, just tune in and just have a think, because, you know, all of us need to learn things sometimes. There are more things in heaven and earth, aren't there? So, Jacky, how do we, first of all, communicate with our angel?
I think the most important thing is to know that actually there are no rules, because I always say that before we had books that taught you how to communicate with angels, angels were still communicating with people just the same. So what I've tried to do is to bring together everybody's ideas about how to communicate with angels, and then you just pick something that feels right to you. So one of the most important things is to ask for their help. I feel like all the angels are up there looking down and they're saying, you know, please just ask for us to help you. Because I think that they are not allowed to interfere with what we're doing, but they are allowed to help us if we ask.
So what do you think their job is then? I mean, we think of them as God's messengers.
Yes.
I mean, if they were God's messengers and he says, or she, whoever God is, says, right, you can help, but only if they ask. They can pray to me, but they have to ask you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's lots of different ways. First of all, you have to ask. So, I mean, you can do that by doing it in your head, if you feel a bit embarrassed about asking out loud, or you can just ask out loud. And again, I've put loads of sort of ideas for ritual type of things, but you don't need to do them. You can just sit down quietly and write a little note. You can write in a journal and ask for help. And the help seems to come in the form of things like feathers, to say that they're around, or coincidences, what you would say. That was strange, wasn't it? Or that was a coincidence, wasn't it? And I think this is what I think our angel experience is.
Because you say that, that the angels that you're talking about in here are not necessarily, although as you say you can believe in any way you want to, not necessarily people. You believe that they're separate to people.
To humans.
Well, angels in the traditional sense are beings of a separate stream of consciousness to the human spirit. But then there are lots of people that come to Earth and make a big difference in a way that you would call them, perhaps, you would call them an Earth angel. And ultimately, I don't know whether it makes any difference as far as we're concerned.
We're not talking about a mystery. We're talking about something that is so...
There are so many of them. I mean, in the book here, you've got the angel names A to Z, you know, and there they are. Those are all the names. Each one of them is dedicated to a particular part of your life, a particular part of the day or the month.
This is all traditional stuff again, and we sort of went out and researched probably 60 books to get all that information and put them on a database. I mean, a bizarre thing to do, really, because some people like to dial direct, don't they? They want, you know, which angel works for this. But I don't think it matters.
See, my argument,
just yell,
with Karen used to be, I used to say to her, well, if you want something that badly, why don't you just ask God direct?
Yeah.
Which was actually my main argument to her.
What did she say to that?
Well, she just said, well, God's too busy to deal with the mundane things like parking and help me do this and that. And I used to say, but is that not a bit selfish in a way to be always asking for little things on a daily basis? But she would always return and she'd just say, well, no, I just like the idea of calling angels in.
And I think that's the reason that people sort of started working with angels in the first place, because people felt that God was, you know, way up there, too far away, and we needed sort of something or someone to act as an intermediary.
In between?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Do you believe in them?